Okay, guys, probably we can start. So, hello everyone. Thanks for joining in. And yeah, let's just start talking about the ways how can an IT specialist move to the UK? What are the main ideas about it? So, and first things first, let me introduce myself. I'm Nikita. You can call me Nick, whatever you want. And here's some short information I could have been bragging about for months or for hours, but probably it's not the case right now, and it's not the main idea of this webinar. So yes, I was one of the first employees here at Immigram, and we started this company with these wonderful co-founders, Anastasia and Mikhail. And right now we're quite an emerging startup in the real tech sphere. So, and all I would like to do today is to actually just share some insights about how to move to the UK if you do something regarding IT, if you do something regarding tech sphere. So, and the first question is quite clear and simple. Why relocating to the UK? Because, well, it's so pricey, and maybe weather couldn't be so good. Maybe Italy or Spain would be your option, but still, it is one of the best options for an IT specialist, and that's why. In my point of view, numbers speak better than any words, and probably during this webinar you will guess my idea, because I will consistently talk about it. I will constantly talk about it, and still we have some numbers. You can see them, and well, all in all, the British tech sphere is the third largest in the world right now. So if you want to pursue your dreams as an IT specialist, but you don't want to spend your time relocating to, for instance, smoggy China or too expensive California, probably it's quite likely that I meet you on one of the streets in London. So yeah, that's the idea. So let's imagine that we decided to move to the UK. So what are the options? The options are quite clear. So we have five of them. So you now see four of them, and the fifth one would be actually kind of surprise for you, and I will talk about it later. So the first one is an innovator visa. The idea is quite clear. You need to state that you have at least £50,000 of investment funds to fund your company and to start it, expand it to the UK. It's quite similar to the startup visa, in which you need to prove that you have a viable business plan, and you need to get accepted to one of the accelerators in the UK. And there you would need to pay round about £10,000 each month for your visa to the accelerator. So it's what we at Immigram call visa with subscription visa. So you need to pay constantly to stay in the UK. And there is also a sole representative visa. It's a visa for employees of the companies willing to open a London or, I don't know, a British branch of their company, and they need one representative in the country. So if you are lucky enough to be this representative, you will be granted the sole representative visa and easily travel to the UK. But with one big obstacle: you cannot work anywhere outside your company sponsor, the company that actually granted you with this visa. And the same counts for skilled worker visa, because it's probably one of the most common visa around the globe. I think you know about it. So you need to find an employer, and this employer needs to pay for your visa, and in turn you are going to work for this employer until you decide to quit. And when you quit, you need either find another employer who is also willing to grant you with a visa, or you would need to find another way to stay in the UK. Otherwise, you're going to quit the country. So this is these are 4 options to relocate to the UK. And, in my view, they have one thing in common: the obligations you take on your shoulders when you relocate to the UK. So speaking about innovator and startup, it's financial obligations. You need to pay hell of a money, let's be clear, to stay in the UK. But if we talk about the latter ones, the sole representative visa and the skilled worker visa, you need to pay your time. And maybe it's even more valuable than the first one visas. So yeah, about obligations, it's probably one of the main problems for these visas. And this problem, the next visa lacks this problem, and this is the global talent visa. You don't need to have a company sponsor in the UK to relocate. You don't need to show any amount of money on your account. You don't need to state any kind of a plans you will basically need to actually make come true in the UK. You just meet the criteria and you just prove that you are already a promising talent or an exceptional talent. So as always, probably as usually, the slide speaks better than myself, so you can look through all these wonderful points, and probably I would stay with flexibility, because global talent visa, more than any other visas in the UK sphere, grants you with this kind of opportunity. You can move to the UK and do whatever you want. You can start your own business. You can be employed as anybody, as somebody, and also you can start studying somewhere, and all this stuff you can do simultaneously, and it's not a problem at all. You don't need to prove somebody anything. You've already proven that you are eligible, and that's all you need. And probably that's why our company is so focused towards this visa. Exactly, because this visa is something we are all passionate about, because the flexibility is probably the best option for any ambitious IT specialist right now. So, and yes, this visa has 3 routes. Basically, it's global talent visa in art, global talent visa in science, and global talent visa in digital tech. And we will talk about the later one, but still we're working with the global talent in science also, and probably soon enough we will start working with the global talent in art. So stay tuned, and well, if you have any questions concerning global talent in science, I would be happy to answer them also. Yes, and also the global talent visa has these kind of 2 levels. I can't say it's 2 types of this visa. I can't say it's 2 routes. I would even say it's these are 2 levels of this visa. So the higher level is the exceptional talent visa, and the kind of a lower level, it's an exceptional promise visa. So what's the difference between them? So the first and foremost difference is that exceptional talent visa gives you the right to acquire an ILR in only 3 years. It's really short amount of time in terms of getting a permanent residency in the UK. So let me clarify this to you. ILR stands for indefinite leave to remain, which means you can obtain a permanent residency, which you don't need to prolong, which you don't need to extend. And that's the idea of getting an ILR so fast. You're becoming even more flexible and even more free than you've ever been, within the UK. And exceptional promise visa, you're getting an ILR only in 5 years. But this kind of visa, this level of the global talent visa, has its benefits. And let me break it down to you quickly. So exceptional talent visa. This is basically given to people with over 5 years of professional experience in the digital tech. So if you have more than 5 years, you basically need to apply for a global talent visa or exceptional talent, whatever it is. You can call it either way. Yes. And it has this kind of a benefit to get an ILR only 3 years, but still it has quite more rigorous and quite more difficult criteria to meet. And when it comes to exceptional promise, it's given to promising professionals who needs to prove that they have a potential to become exceptional talents in their relevant field. And these people, they need to prove less of criteria, but they don't have this amount of benefits, this number of benefits that the exceptional talent has. And when you want to apply, if you want to apply for an exceptional promise visa, you need to have no more than 5 years of professional experience. That's the idea. But still, and you will see it in following slides and in my speech. The Tech Nation visa guide, and Tech Nation is the company, is the organization that assesses your case for this visa and endorses you for this case. So after you get this endorsement, you are 100% will get the visa. So Tech Nation's visa guide is so ambiguous, so you can easily find a wide range of loopholes to use them with some tricks and some ideas and some moves. So, and I will try to share some of them with you in the course of this webinar. So, and the main idea and the main trick about these levels is that you actually can apply for a talent visa, even though you're not, maybe, I don't know, if you're not certain enough, if you're not confident enough that you are eligible for a talent visa, but you still have maybe 5 or 4 years of experience, or you can show that you have this amount of experience, you can apply for a talent visa, and Tech Nation might assess your case as a promise also, and then get you a promise visa. So I think it's a kind of a bargain, you know, because you applied for a visa and you get it. Maybe not the best one, but still, it's a visa that gives you this kind of flexibility. So yeah, how to show that you have 5 years of experience when you actually have, for instance, 6 years of experience. The most simple way is to look at your CV, and if you, for instance, if you started working in the digital sphere, for instance, when you were in university, when you were studying simultaneously, you can actually omit this experience from your CV. And it would look as if you started working after you graduated, and it's okay. It's totally all right, and it works. And probably that's good to know. So this is one more thing to share about it. Yes, and probably one more thing. If you want to apply for an exceptional promise visa, you need to know that you can apply only if you are at early stages of your career. And it's explicitly stated in the Tech Nation visa guide. So you cannot, unfortunately, apply if you are already, I don't know, if you graduated from your university 10 years ago or 12 years ago, because it wouldn't sound like you're at the early stages of your career. Even though the guide is ambiguous on the whole, still it has some statements that we need to follow, that we need to oblige, so that we can get endorsed. So yeah, let's move on. Probably the most frequently asked question I receive every day. So, hey Nick, okay, I feel like I'm eligible. So how much is it? Because probably if you ever relocated to any place in your life, you know that this costs hell of a money. So you need to stay sure if you can actually if you can actually run this initiative. So, and let me probably divide this amount of money in 2 categories. So the first one is the money you need to pay before the endorsement. Yes, you need to pay even before you get endorsed. That's the trick with the global talent visa, unfortunately. But still, so you need to pay £456 to get the right to apply for endorsement. So to send an endorsement application to Technation, you need to pay £456. And after you get endorsed, this is the second category of the payments. You need to pay visa fee. It's £167, and also you would need to pay probably the scariest thing in the world. You will need to pay for insurance, because you will need to pay £624 per each year of your visa validity period. And it will be at least, if you apply, for instance, for 3 years, it would be at least somewhat three. No, sorry, it would be at least £1,800. And if you apply for a 5-year visa, it will be at least £3,000. So yeah, you need to take it into account when deciding whether you would like to go for this visa or not. So yeah, that's the idea about the money, about the whole expenses matter. And well, let's probably switch to the most interesting part of this presentation for my liking. This is the idea how we can actually get this endorsement. So what do I need to do to get endorsed? And I will try in this section just to share some tips and tricks we usually do at Immigram to help our customers to achieve this visa. So basically, to get endorsed, you need to meet several criteria set by Technation. To meet these criteria, you will need to use several documents. These docs are reference letters or recommendation letters. You can call it either way. Personal statement, just as the one you probably submitted when you decided to apply for a program at university. So it's personal statement, and a CV. So it's probably the most common doc in this list. So, and we will talk about each of them in the following sections. But first, let's talk about criteria, because probably criteria are quite valuable in this term, because if you want to meet these criteria, you need to know them as well. So let's talk first about mandatory criterion. This is the only one mandatory criterion. We call it recognition. And basically, what you need to do with this criterion is to show how well your experience, your contributions are covered in media. So that's the idea about it. It could be many things, a wide range of things. For instance, it could be your appearances as a speaker at conferences. It could be your interviews in media. It could be any articles concerning your products, your project, and so on. So yes, it could be a lot of things. But still, we also have optional criteria, and this includes 4 criteria. You need to choose only 2 of them. So let me break them down to you also. So contribution, basically, to meet this criteria, you need to answer a simple question. What have I done to to push my company forward in its market position, for instance? And the second one, innovation, is basically a question: what novelty did I bring while pushing my company forward? So as you can see, these first criteria, these are quite connected, and you will see them that in the examples I will provide just in a second. Outside occupation criterion, this is more about your volunteer experience. So let me give you also an example, like a question you need to answer to meet this criteria. What have I also done to actually push forward the IT community itself outside my job? So that's the third criterion. And the fourth criterion is about your academic contribution. So in terms of your academic contribution, you need to show that you have published a wide range of academic papers in well-established journals, scientific journals, of course. Maybe you attended several scientific conferences as a speaker, and you need to get a reference from some of the academic experts in the field. So that's all the criteria in short, but probably to make it more clear to you, let's put this criteria in context. So let's imagine we're talking about the real person wishing to apply for a visa. Let's call him Ted, for instance. So Ted is a software engineer at Google, and he wants to apply for a global talent visa. And just let me tell you something about Ted, and then show what part of the text attributes or to what criterion. So Ted, as I said, is a software engineer at Google. So we are all probably envy Ted at all, totally about it, but still. And he managed, for instance, I don't know, to create a solution optimizing storage on consumers' Google Drives. Let it be like this. He did so by adding separate logic for different requests, rewrote underlying storage, and maybe, for instance, fixed dozens of bugs. So, and all of this, as you could see, is actually a description of what he did. It's his contribution, but it's not the end. It's not the finish, because a contribution could be called contribution in terms of criterion only if it has an impact. So let me just add one more phrase for this to this text. So, and this solution helped the company save $1 million every month. So here we can see it's clear as sky. This contribution is clear as sky because the person has done something and it impacted his company quite a lot. So that's the idea of contribution criteria. Let's switch to the next one. Let's switch to the innovation criteria. And just to show how these criteria are connected, let me just put one more phrase to the previous text. So as I said, Ted is a software engineer at Google. He managed to create a system that optimizes storage on consumers' Google Drives, and he did so by adding separate logic for different requests. And here we are adding for different requests the thing that had never been done at Google before. You see, that's the innovation, because that's some novelty you brought, or Ted has brought to his company, and also made it thriving. So you see, we have the impact, we have the innovative nature of this impact, and we also have the overall contribution. So as I said, usually contribution goes hand in hand with innovation. Let me just add one more phrase to our text about Ted to clarify the third criterion. So in terms of outside occupation, while doing all of that, he still spent his time off teaching his students at the, for instance, at the Women in Tech conference, and he prepared several lectures on C++ and checked his students' homework, and therefore his students managed to find their first jobs in IT. That's all. And as you can see, the idea is also quite clear. We need to put an explicit wording showing that this activity that person has done is actually a voluntary activity. And we put this explicit wording to the text because while doing all of that, he spent his time off teaching his students. So, and this whole passage is about his outside occupation activity, and this passage could actually earn him an eligibility for this criterion. So I hope it's more clear for you now. And academic contribution is probably also clear as sky. The one of the examples for it could be, for instance, after I don't know, after managing to create this solution, TED published several scientific papers in a Scopus indexed journals, and these articles gathered somewhat 50 citations and more. Yeah, as you can see, we also put some numerical impact, numerical proof of the significance of this contribution, and also we talk about TED's overall contribution to the academic sphere of computer science, because he created these papers, he published them in Scopus indexed journals, and so on. So yeah, and probably let's get back to the first criterion, to the mandatory criterion, also about recognition. And getting back to TED, probably one of the best examples could be his solution has been covered or has been widely covered in media, and he I don't know, he appeared at several conferences, for instance at Google I/O, presenting his idea. So here it is. As we can see, this is recognition. So right now, me and you together, we just showcased all 5 criteria for the Global Talent Tech Nation visa endorsement. If you meet at least 2 optional criteria and the mandatory criterion, actually you will be eligible for a visa and you get an endorsement and relocate to the UK. Sounds quite simple, but still, you know, it has its peculiarities I would like to mention also. So all in all, this is what you should showcase. Of course, as I said, this slide talks better than me, speaks better than me in terms of this, in terms of finalizing and summing up all this information. Well, from myself, I would like to mention just several things. Take a look at the ideas that you've been shy about, you've been not embarrassed, but shy or modest about. And my main advice here, don't be too modest and don't be too shy about your previous achievements. For instance, if you back in high school or back in school, if you won a countrywide contest in, for instance, programming, or even in maths, if you won a contest, please use it, put it in your CV, download the photo or scan of the appreciation letter of the diploma, or even of the medal if you received one, and use it, because it also works better for your case. So please use it right now, because when you use this kind of achievements, you are showing that in your background you started achieving really high peaks in the IT sphere from a young age, and still you're achieving something until now. So please use everything you can that could show your significance as a specialist. So don't be shy about it. Yeah, and let's switch to the next one. Actually, yeah, one more thing about criteria. I just forgot about it. So please don't choose criteria first. First, mention all your projects, mention all your background, mention everything you could even gather or you can think of when you think about yourself and your achievements as a professional, and then choose criteria according to this information. Because if you firstly choose criteria and then start to pick some achievements of yours to fit into this criteria, probably you're likely to lose some information, to miss it, to miss something valuable that you could have used in your bundle. So please do it this way, because, well, from my point of view, it could be more effective. Yes, so, and talking about the next one, I wanted to talk about references. So the first thing is that reference letters probably are your best friends in terms of getting an endorsement, because reference letters are composed by you or by your friends or by copywriter or by your referees, but these are composed by some people that are in good relationships with you, so you can use it in your way, use it in your favor. For instance, you need to choose a referee, a person who will sign off your letter, really rigorously, because you need to choose a person. If this person is from your professional background, you need to choose a person who is at least your manager or used to be your manager, better to be your skip manager. So it's a person above your manager, your manager's manager, and even higher, even above your skip manager. If you can climb to, I don't know, a C level of your company or of your previous company, you can also use this person's signature. You can also use this person's reference letter. So yes, that's the first thing. You need to choose referees rigorously in terms of their position in the company, but also you need to take into account referees' public profile. Simply speaking, these people should be Googleable. So that the technician commissioner, the technician case worker, who will assess your case after you submit it, they need to easily find this person when they start to Google him or her. So yes, and the third thing about choosing referees is mostly about your relationship with them, because reference letters should be complementary. They should praise you as a person, as a leader, as a specialist in the IT sphere, and so on. So please look through these look for these people. So these people should have a good experience, rich professional background. They should have good public profile. They should be Googleable, and you should be in good relationship with them, so that they could sign off you a very complimentary appraising letter. So yes, and let's talk more about reference letters themselves. So about the structure. First things first, in each and every reference, you need to describe the referee properly, because if you don't describe it properly on a decent level, you will basically get refused with the statement, your referees couldn't be considered experts in their field, so they cannot provide you with a reference. And that's not the case you want to have. So I strongly advise you to describe your referee background as if you described yourself. So with the best intentions, with no false modesty. So please, if this person is a genius, just start by writing it down. I am considered a genius in, I don't know, in software engineering or in software reliability stuff, and so on. And this person should should look for the technician as an expert, and you should make him look this way. So please take this one seriously, because without it, you will likely get refused with your application. So yes, the next one, how and when you met. How you met, and this one usually is usually omitted by most of the people applying for this visa, but actually it's really valuable. It's like I can say it's invaluable for this for the application and for the references themselves, because when you write something about how you met, how you, I don't know, helped each other, how you went to, I don't know, drink coffee or drink beer after really difficult project you nailed together, and so on, you are adding this personal attitude, this personal aspect of your relationships with the referee, and therefore you're making the reference sound more authentic. And you need to do so because we're not robots, we're human beings. And when we read the text, we need to see, and the technician caseworker needs to see a person behind it. And if you manage to do so, you likely or you have more chances to get a visa. So yes, and about the next one, yes, it's probably the same we actually did together with here with the TED's example, because specific projects, you need to list them, and this is the main part. This is the body of the letter, and you need to show four things. A contribution of the person. So what has been done? You need to show the significance of this contribution, provide any kind of metrics, any kind of numerical proof of the significance of the significance of his projects, or of this person, of yours, of your commitments in the company. Also, you need to show the innovativeness of these commitments, of these activities, and you need to show the recognition that followed your achievements. For instance, you got a raise, you got a promotion, you started leading a team, or maybe you got a performance review stating that you exceeds all expectations, that your performance exceeded all expectations. And yes, these could also work for you. So try to use all these types of information when you create a reference letter. And also, briefly, but still, you need to state why you want to live and work in the UK. Because without this information, you likely get asked, so yeah, okay, you're a good professional, we see that, but why do you need to go to the UK? What are the reasons to go there? And simply speaking, you want, by omitting this part in reference, you won't comply with one of the statements at the Technation Visa Guide. And these statements sounds like this. You need to show your reasons to move to the UK and how you can enrich the UK tech sphere. And we need to do so. So we need to fill in this formality and tell at least something you would like to do in the UK. You wouldn't need, after you get endorsed, and I hope you will get endorsed, after you get endorsed, you don't need to follow these steps. You don't need to follow your the things you stated, because you just need to do it, to fill in this criteria, to meet it, and then to get endorsed. What you would be doing in the UK, actually nobody cares about it. So you can do whatever you want. As I said, it's really flexible visa, but to achieve this visa, you need to show that you have any pursuits to actually achieve in the UK tech sphere. Maybe you have, I don't know, some idea for a startup, or maybe you have some kind of a reason to move to the UK to enter a more competitive market as an employee, or anything else. So please be sure you added something like that to your reference. So yeah, and one more thing that I forgot about choosing referees. I strongly advise you to choose at least 4 referees, so write at least 4 references, because if you choose only 3 of them, and by the as I said, by the Technation Guide, you can choose only 3, and you can submit only 3 references, but you can submit even more. So if you submit only 3 references, and one of them would contain some kind of a mistake, some kind of a mistype, maybe it isn't dated, or you just forgot to put your referee's contact details, which is obligatory, you will just get refused by this formality and by this technicality. So please make sure you add at least 4 references, so that if you missed something in one of them and it is not considered eligible for the visa, you still have 3 references to be assessed. And on formal ground, you will get the right to be assessed. So please take it into account. And also, probably I would like to recommend you one more thing. If you're thinking about getting this and that referee, don't try to get all referees from your professional background. So for instance, you worked at Google for 2 years and right now you work at Meta for 1 year. And you have 4 people who can sign off your letter from these companies. Please don't do so. Please do it this way. Have several people from Google because you spend there most of the time of your professional career, and 1 person from Meta because you spend there less of the time of your career, and 1 person who is unaffiliated with your capacities, with your workplaces. For instance, it could be your friend's friend from, I don't know, from Netflix or from Spotify or any other tech company. It could be your own friend. It could be just acquaintance. You just met at some conference and so on. But this person should have the same, should meet the same criteria you just set for the referees from your professional life, from your professional career. This person should have a decent public profile. This person should have a good professional background, and this person should have willingness to sign off you a praising letter, complimentary letter. Why do we actually need this kind of person, and what kind of letter this person can sign off? Well, the answer is clear. This person would sign off a letter stating something like, I've heard about Ted's contribution to Google and to the development of IT community. And I wish him luck, and I think this is great. So the main word in this passage is actually heard. This person haven't worked with you, haven't ever worked with you. And that's the thing that makes this person the most unbiased within this list of the referees. Because because Tech Nation guys, they think that the person who is affiliated with your jobs, he can sign off the most unbiased letter. And you need one to just show that, yes, my managers keep talking about my significance, how important and exceptional I am, but still I have a person called, I don't know, let him call Nick. So I have this person called Nick who is from the other company, who knows about me only from, I know, from some interviews and from some professional network. And still this person, this distinguished professional, he signs off a letter stating that I'm a good professional, I'm an exceptional talent, I'm an outstanding contributor to open source, so on and so on. So yeah, that's all in short about referees. As I said, this thing has many peculiarities you need to take into account when compiling your case. So yeah, and about some recommendations, probably I would stick with the second one, because the first one probably is quite simple to understand, about criticizing your case. This is one of the best advices I could have given to you. So yeah, yes, you need to try to criticize your case, and let's try it together. Let's try to criticize Ted's case. So we know about Ted something, a bit or two, a thing or two. So he's a software engineer at Google. He created some kind of a strange solution that helps Google save millions of dollars every month, and he contributes to the development of the IT community and blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's good. So let's criticize it. Let's start with probably the easiest point of critique in his statement, in the TED statement. So the easiest point of critique is about innovation. And what can we say about it? Your innovation, dear Ted, is made only for Google, because you have stated previously that this innovation, that this solution had never been done at Google. So this innovation works only for Google, not for the whole industry. Therefore, we cannot endorse you under the Global Talent Visa route because you cannot meet the innovation criteria you have chosen previously. So, and that's all. Yes, yeah, you got rejected. So how we can omit that? First things first, I would like to point out to you that the weakest points in your application would be those without numerical proof of your impact. So try to add numbers, metrics, and so on to each and every case. So if you do something in terms of outside occupation, if you teach some students IT, please find some internal rating or some, well, as I said, some internal rating of teachers and show that you are on the second place within, I don't know, 100 of staff of the teachers. So, or for instance, if you do some open source contributions, please show the repository that you contributed to and show the number of stars your contribution has made. Yes, it works, and yes, Technation guys, probably these guys are just walking calculators, calculators on legs, because they adore numbers, and basically they don't really like just qualitative approach. They like quantitative approach. So omit 2 qualitative descriptions and add to these qualitative descriptions some more numbers. And getting back to our points of critique. So we criticized this point about innovation. How we can omit that? We can add to this reference that has stated the innovative nature of this contribution, but with a simple thing. We could say, we could just say that Google is one of the biggest digital tech companies in the world, being widely known for its forward-looking solutions, for its innovations and inventions, so that anything that could be considered innovative within the Google structure could also be considered innovative within the structure of the whole industry. Yes, so we solved it. We tried to solve even this quite a weak point we had in our application. And that's how you need to go through all your points in your application. You need to criticize each of them and find any weaknesses you have and solve them to your best. So that's one more thing I wanted to just share with you. And yeah, let's just switch to CV. So CV, as I said, is one of the most common docs. So you probably know about it. And well, in terms of the Global Talent Visa, I would really recommend you to create a new CV. Don't do this kind of a template from Microsoft Word with these strange fonts and so on. Please make it as flamboyant as possible. Make it as vivid as possible, because your CV needs to be eye-catching for a reader. You need to be bragging in your CV. You need to be self-praising in your CV. You can't be shy in your CV. So please omit all these statements like, for instance, my team made this wonderful contribution, or my team, or his team, if you want to talk from the third side, from the third view. But still, do not do it. Do not put this kind of a statement like my team created something or his team created something. You created something. And that's the only way you can actually get a Global Talent Visa. Because if you submit a CV stating that your team has made something, you will get refusals saying, okay, we got that your team is okay. We got it that your team is just brilliant, but it is unclear what is your contribution to this success, and that could be a really strong point for refusal. So please take into account this problem and just try to omit it. I know it sounds strange talk about yourself in this self-praising way, but you need to do so because you are an exceptional talent and you need to prove it to the tech nation. So yeah, and also about CV being eye-catching, probably I would recommend to add as many pictures as you can, maybe photos from your public appearances as a speaker, maybe logos of your companies you worked at, maybe some screenshots from, I don't know, analytics or infographic screenshot from your companies, from your own startup pitch deck. So you can use anything you can just to aim this goal, just to get, just to achieve this, goal, achieve this mission of creating your CV as vivid as possible and as eye-catching as possible. And also, of course, everything stated on the slide is quite all right, because yes, please do not include any mention of your skills. So I am able, I don't know, to code in Python. It doesn't work for a global talent visa. You need to show how you used these skills. You need to show this way, but not stating skills themselves. So don't please include how many languages you know, because it doesn't matter at all. And don't please include your education, because actually nobody wants to know that you, I don't know, enrolled to a bachelor program at some university. It just doesn't matter for the tech nation. I had, I don't know, just a wide range of clients who submitted, while submitting their application, I just was asking them, so, okay, what's your highest level of education as for now? And they just answered me, oh, I just graduated from high school and then started doing my company, and now we've raised, I don't know, $20 million. And I would like, okay, that's how the thing work. That's how the things work in the modern world. So you don't need to show your education here. It wouldn't help you to get the visa. And about hobbies, also please don't be too romantic about your CV and about Tech Nation. As I said, these people from Tech Nation, they are walking calculators. They cannot feel anything. So don't try to be touching, to be some kind of a mindful. So yes, and about all do's also I agree. I agree quite fully. So you need to list all the companies you worked at. You need to list all the projects you did. Add, please, all awards and competitions you took part in and you succeeded in them. So don't add competitions that you failed, because it could only understate your case. It could only undermine it. So please don't do so. And the same goes for the previous one. Don't please list the companies that just can't work well for you, or your projects that can't work well for you. For instance, you started working at, I don't know, you started your internship at Google, but it's somehow, at some point, you know, we're all people. So you failed it. You didn't get, I don't know, you didn't get a good grade after this internship. You didn't get an offer, and you just quit this internship with no honors. So don't mention it. Don't mention this type of information. Especially, you can mention that you had an internship in Google, but don't mention that you failed it. So it could sound quite obvious right now, but still, don't try to be as sincere as possible. Try to be as reasonable as possible, and it will work out for you quite well. So yeah. About numbers and stats, of course, you need, as I said, these walking calculators, they need to see these numbers constantly. So you need to put these numbers and metrics and so on in your CV, in your reference letters, in your personal statement, in all documents. Please put these numbers, because these numbers will just win you the visa. And that's all we need to do. That's why we just gathered for this webinar. So yeah, about hyperlinks, yes, these are your best friends, because you actually, by adding these hyperlinks, you can simplify the process of assessment of your case. For instance, you are an eminent open source contributor, and you had quite a wide range of your of your own projects published on GitHub that gathered hundreds of stars and so on. So you can use it, and you can use it just by putting the links to these projects in your CV, so that the technician, caseworker, they can just click the link, see the number of stars, and give you your precious criterion of contribution outside occupation. So please use it as many times as possible. It also counts for your articles that you wrote in terms of digital tech, or the articles that mentioned you. So please add points about your mentions. Please add hyperlinks accordingly, because it could also help you to actually get the visa. So yes, let's probably switch to the next one, and this is the personal statement. And as I said, please do not romanticize. I know that personal statement is considered by almost everybody as a small short letter in which you need to show that, I don't know, just from the earliest childhood, you've been dreaming about moving to London and working in London, I don't know, at Meta's office, and just waving at Mark Zuckerberg and at Elizabeth II, at any at any vacation and holiday, I don't know, go to Brighton or somewhere else, and so on. But please do not do so, because it won't work out well for you. It won't help you get the visa. You will just waste your time and waste the space of the personal statement, which is only 1,000 symbols overall. So please use it reasonably, and to use it in a more conscientious way, please try to pick the most significant projects you've done, and just describe them in a more elaborated way than you used to do so in your CV. So that's the idea. And one more thing that actually could be attributed to each and every document in the Global Talent visa bundle, in your application for the visa. The Global Talent visa is given for your past and your present, not for your future. So please do not try to overestimate yourself, and do not try to write too much about your future plans in the UK. Because, this world is kind of shaky right now, and you can't predict anything, what would happen in a day. And also, it won't get you a visa, because, as I said, the visa is being given for your past, for your achievements, for what you've already done, not what you'd be doing and what kind of a person you are. So try to talk facts, try to talk numbers, try to be as boastful as you can, because here you need to do so. You even obliged to do so to get the visa. So try to just follow this route. So yeah, and let's just go through these points. So yes, you need to describe the documents you attached. So just in a brief way, but still you could highlight the most valuable docs. For instance, yes, and after I implemented this solution at Google, I received a performance review stating that I exceeded expectations, and this grade is being given only to 3% of the whole Google staff, or to, I don't know, 2%. So you can find these statistics on the web. And yes, and all this information you can put to the CV. Don't be afraid, and don't be scared to put this kind of information. So I'm just one of the 100 of employees at Google who could receive this kind of a grade. So I believe I'm eligible for the visa. It's a good thing. It's a good point. You can use it. So don't be shy to use it. Yes, and last but not the least, really don't think that Tech Nation, if these guys are calculators with legs, don't think that they are gurus and moguls in the IT sphere. They actually don't know they don't know many things, and just be sure that you stated something in a boastful way, but still then that you explained why this thing is innovative, or whether this thing is significant for the company or was significant for the company at the moment, why you did it this way, not the other way, and so on. Or for instance, if you talk about some outside occupation activity, try to be explicit and try to explain why this activity contributes to the development of the global of the digital tech sphere. So please be sure that you explained it, because Tech Nation case workers couldn't understand everything. They could not gather some of the ideas you tried to explain. So be sure that you get across these ideas perfectly. And on the other hand, do not try to oversimplify things, because by oversimplifying things, you are undermining your own contribution. Because if you're oversimplifying and talking like and writing like I don't know, for instance, I created this solution, this thing worked well, and it helped my company achieve new heights, and that's all. Where's the contribution? Where's the innovativeness? Where's this significance of your contribution? There's no such thing in your phrase. And by oversimplifying, as I said, you will just undermine your own achievements. So please don't do so. So actually, everything I just said to you all this time, I don't know, maybe I've been speaking about this topic, I don't know, for 20 minutes or maybe for more. You can write it in the chat section. It would be fun to read probably. But still, all this information actually could be compiled in 2 words, even not 2 words, it's like just emotions. So all your documents need to make the Tech Nation case worker feel 2 things. First, feel wow, and the second, feel aha, and that's all. So as I said, first emotion stands for this excitement about your own achievement. So about your achievement. So case worker reading all your documents and just feeling this, and just he's getting so excited for your achievements, so he starts to believe that you're eligible. I know I'm talking something really not so down to earth things, and it's more like qualitative rather than quantitative, but still you need to make this impression. So impress case worker, make him wow at your documents. And the second thing, make him understand why it was significant, make him aha at your documents. So both things are really great and are really useful. And if these are if these are provided in complex in your bundle, in your application, it's highly it's just likely that you get a visa. So yeah. And yes, one more optional document you might use in your bundle. It's called cover letter. By ourselves at the company with my team, we use it many times, especially when our clients have, I don't know, for instance, they have a wide range of companies they've worked at, quite a rich experience. So that's good for them. That's good for us for the application. But wide range of documents comes with a wide range of companies comes with a wide range of documents, and you need to compile it somehow. You need to present it perfectly. You need to highlight the best parts of the docs, and cover letter is the best friend for you in achieving this purpose. So you need to, if you need to show I don't know, the difference between several docs. If you need to show give a short summary of the docs, you could use cover letter. In terms of format, I think cover letter, well, for me, it's just just this kind of a jacked table of contents. So you put just everything you have in your application, and you just state it like, okay, and here I attached these documents, and then several bullet points with the documents with some excerpts of the best, of the most valuable, most significant information. For instance, here in my bundle, I attached several payslips from Google with the highest salary of, I don't know, 100,000 pounds per month, for instance. I don't know who get this kind of a salary, but still. So for instance, like this. So you highlight the most valuable part, you list all the docs, and here the caseworker at TechNation would have more precise, more concise, image of your application. Because when he or she looks through this wide range of docs in your application, they could have easily been get lost. And when they have this kind of cover letter, it's kind of a guidance to your application. So make sure you use it if you have a lot of docs, to provide a lot of docs to use. So yeah, and supporting docs. Of course, supporting docs also should be used. It's not obligatory according to the TechNation guide, but as you could have seen, we at Immigram, we're not really just following TechNation guide. We're trying to use it to our best and to the best of our clients. So you need to use supporting docs if you want to get the visa right away. So what kind of do's and don'ts I can add to this list? So first things first, do not add docs that can undermine your experience, background, or understate your personality as a professional. So if you, I don't know, if you started working when you were at your early stages of career, and you started working at some small product design agency, and you earned really small amount of money, just for instance, I don't know, 100 pounds for month, so it was like an internship and so on, please do not use this document in your bundle, because it won't show that you are an exceptional talent. Exceptional talent, these are usually well paid in terms of, I don't know, the company, not the company, the country's economy. These guys or girls, they are being paid way more than their peers that who are not considered global talents or exceptional talents. So please do not use the docs that can understate your achievements. Moreover, of course, you don't need to put criteria in your document titles, because it could just make the caseworker feel and think that only this kind of a criterion is that this doc contributes to only one kind of criterion, and this might work for you not really well, because you don't really know what kind of doc could impress, in which way this kind of doc could impress your TechNation caseworker. So please just upload the most significant documents that could be applicable to your application, applicable to your experience, and that's all. Do not try to showcase that this doc could be attributed to this criterion, and that doc could be attributed to that criterion. Do not do so, because you will just maybe lower your chances to get the visa. So yeah. And probably, yes, one more thing I would like to add to this list, which is quite perfect, but still, there's always room for improvement. Probably it is about adding too many of identical docs to your application. For instance, if you have an employment letter, stating that you've been working at Google for 2 years, and an employment contract with Google. Please do not use both, because they serve the same purpose. They show that you've been working at Google for 2 years and being granted this kind of remuneration. Please do not use both. Use only the employment letter. It could be just as useful as if you just added only employment contract. So please use just one document for one purpose. Do not use several. You will just, blur the focus of the caseworker, and they will try to guess why you added too many docs with the same purpose. So don't do so. Yes, and about dues. Yes, of course, I would like to add something here. These dues are quite fine, and you can read them, look through them, and maybe ask some questions in the Q&A section. I just remind you about it, and I will just add something to it. So firstly, please consider adding docs with the feedback you received at work. So for instance, it could be the most formal way of feedback is performance review. So if you ever received a performance review stating that you exceeded most of expectations or just exceeded expectations and so on and higher to even redefined expectations. So please use these docs, because they would show that you are something exceptional. Because if your performance reviews just stating that you meet most of expectations or you meet all expectations, it just shows that you're a good specialist. But good specialists, at least on paper, they cannot receive the visa. On paper, you need to be an exceptional. So please be sure that you use only these kind of impactful documents in your bundle. So yeah, and one more thing. If you ever attended conferences as a speaker and spoke at conferences, please use your appreciation letters from it, or herograms or diplomas or anything else. So these things that are simply about congratulating you and praising you as a speaker at some kind of event. So please use these papers, because they can also help you to increase your chances for the visa. And yes, about metrics, of course, you need to upload them. So what kind of metrics we're looking for? We're looking for simply screenshots from some analytic platforms like App Annie, or probably it's Sensor Tower or something like this. So platform that are analyzing the number of downloads of some applications, or the number of users of some applications, or maybe your own blog. You have, I don't know, kind of Google Analytics built in, so you can extract the information about the number of views of your publications on blog, or the number of downloads of your repository on GitHub, and so on. So this kind of information you could also use in your bundle, so don't be shy to use it. But only one thing: please bundle all all the documents of the similar type in one bundle, in one file. So for instance, you have several screenshots about your several repositories, apps you contributed to, and so on. So please just compress them into one PDF doc and submit it. Do not do like 5 screenshots and each of the screenshot is a separate file. Don't do so, because you have only 10 places of additional evidences. So please use it properly, and just be reasonable about the amount of docs you use and submit. So yes, and let's move to the next one. Actually, about perfect bundle, probably it's quite clear. Yes, it's a perfect bundle for each company. For each company you worked at. So this could include one page from the contract, actually stating you your position at the company, your remuneration, and the signatures of both sides. And that's all you need to have in terms of your contract and proof of employment. In terms of the proof of your salary and remuneration, you need to attach probably 2-3 pay slips or similar docs, for instance, bank statement with showing that you received some amount of money regularly from your employer. So you need to show that you are well paid specialist. And also, if you received any kind of stocks, RSUs, options, and so on, you can also prove it by submitting, for instance, screenshot from the dashboard of the trading company in which your options be invested, and so on, or maybe a confirmation letter according to which you're being granted with 100 RSUs of Google and so on. So please just use these kind of docs, because yes, they will also help you. Well, let's pretend, let's imagine, let's predict, I hope so. So let's pretend we just won an endorsement. We received it. We nailed all these peculiarities and these problems we had with this criteria. So what's next? We need to apply for a visa, and here comes the formalities about this process. It's almost the formal process right now. As of now, you are 100% eligible. You are 100% will be given a visa, but still you need to follow several rules to get this. So firstly, you have only 90 days after you get endorsed to apply for a visa. So please be sure you applied in a timely manner. So when you applied for a visa, you will wait, if you are not a resident of the UK, you will wait approximately from 5 to 8 weeks now. So don't believe people saying that, oh, you will get a visa in 15 days. No, actually not, unfortunately, because of the whole situation right now going on in Europe with this wave of refugees, and UK constantly welcoming these refugees and prioritizing their immigration cases. So you cannot easily get your immigration case as a global talent assessed and granted you with the visa. So you will need to wait. Be ready to wait at least for 5 weeks. But if you are a resident of the UK, you can easily apply in the UK. So you will just switch one BRP, biometric residence permit, to another one, and it will take only up to 2 weeks, and that's all. So yeah, you are submitting your docs on the gov.uk. Then if you are a UK resident, you are doing everything on the gov.uk and booking an appointment and giving your biometrics and your photo, and then waiting these 2 weeks. If you are not a UK resident, you will get an appointment on one of the visa centers. It could be either TLS if you're in Europe, or VFS Global if you are outside Europe, and there you will book an appointment and get your biometrics done and get your photo done, and then you will wait for this amount of time, so 5 to 8 weeks. Yep. After you get an announcement that your immigration case is okay and you can get your visa, you will go to this visa center and receive a vignette sticker to your passport. So it's like a Schengen visa or any visa you might have gotten during your lifetime. I don't know, for tourism or for study. So you get this vignette sticker, and then by this vignette sticker, you will be able to enter the UK within 90 days. So you have another 90 days to enter the UK. While in the UK, you will need to get your BRP. BRP is a biometric residence permit, as I said. And with this BRP, it will actually serve as it will serve as your visa for the next, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, regarding what kind of amount of time you would choose for your visa, for your the visa duration time. So it would serve it would serve as your visa, and yes, and then you will need only to register at police. And actually, yep, after this, I could congratulate you. You are a global talent visa holder. You just got endorsed. You're successfully relocated to the UK, and right now here comes probably the most difficult thing. When you are not endorsed, you get rejection letter. So before we move to the UK, let's decide what we need to do with the rejection letter, how we could solve this issue and still relocate to the UK. So, for instance, we got a rejection letter. So what are the main reasons for rejection? Well, speaking from my experience, the main reasons are, first, your referees aren't good enough in terms of from the technician side, from technician view, and these referees couldn't be considered experts in the IT field, or your contribution or your innovation, or I don't know, outside occupation activities isn't described well, isn't well depicted, and so that it's hard to assess your role in some kind of activity, in some kind of commitment. So that these are the most probably yes, these are the most frequently coming to us common reasons for rejection, and how we can solve them. So firstly, what we need to do is to brainstorm a draft of an appeal. So we can appeal technician's decision. We have only 28 days to do so. So take into account this information. And yes, how we can do so? We need to brainstorm all the reasons that technician mentioned to refuse our application, and decide what are the weakest of the points that technician caseworker has made, and and which of these points we actually can counter argument, we actually can tackle in our appeal. Because the first and foremost rule for writing an appeal to technician is to not trying to tackle something, untackable, some strong argument. Do not tackle strong argument, because if you try to do so, you will just waste your time, and you will just waste the space on the pro forma that you will need to fill to actually submit an appeal. So you have a limited amount of space, limited space. So please use it properly and reasonably. So yes, and to do so, please pay attention to the weakest point they had on you. And second, probably most valuable rule in terms of writing an appeal, please be as bold as possible. Be as straightforward, and be as self-confident as possible. Do not try to be too modest. Do not try to be too polite, because yes, we all know that British people are so polite and tolerant and blah, blah, blah. But on the appeal, you need to be bold. You need to be straightforward. You need to be even somewhat rude, because you need to show that you are shocked, you're freaking out, and these people aren't right. They aren't right now, and you need to show that. So, for instance, if you feel like there is a huge misconception being made by the caseworker, please state it this way: there is a huge misconception about my contribution to this open source repository, so that Case Walker, I don't know, showed its his or her showed their incompetence in this matter. So I hope a Technation reviewer would be more knowledgeable about contributions to open source in terms of, I don't know, in terms of Bitcoin, in terms of cryptocurrency or something else. So please be confident, be to some extent outraged, but still, you need to find this like golden mean between being too rude and being intelligently rude. So yeah, and one more thing about appeals. Yes, use not only weak points of Technation's Case Walker, but use the Technation's guide ambiguity, because it is ambiguous. You can actually use these its statements in any way. So, for instance, let's get back to the example with the innovation. For instance, they just stated here in the appeal, hey, yeah, we got your point, but still this cannot be considered innovative because it's been called innovative only within the Google. Okay, but we can use it. We can use it in our to our best, and that's how we can do so. We can mention, so yes, okay, I got it. But according to the Technation Visa Guide, the one and only reason, the one and only criterion for innovation is the market traction of any solution. So if the solution has a market traction, it can be called innovation. Yes, it sounds quite strange and quirky, but that's how it built. That's how this Technation Visa Guide structured. So we can use it in our favor, for our sake, and state, yes, so according to this rule, according to this statement, I mentioned, or I don't know, my referee mentioned that my solution helped the company save up to $1 million each month. So you see, we just tackled their accusation. They accused us that this is not an innovation because it's made within Google, but we just shifted their view to the other point, because the point of innovation, according to their guide, is that we need to have this market traction and market validation. We got this market traction. We saved our company this amount of money. Or for instance, if it's about any kind of open source contribution, and its innovativeness, we can tell that, okay, but this open source then was adopted by a huge company that made a big revenue with it. So here we can see market traction also. So please try to find these loopholes, this ambiguity in the Technation Visa Guide, because it could work just fine for you if you get a rejection letter and you would like to write an appeal. So yes, and one more thing: use quotes of your referees from the references in your appeal. It could sound quite strange from on the first take, but just think about it from the other side of things. Like, you have a referee who stated that you are an outstanding specialist, that you made a huge innovation for the industry, and so on. And then in the rejection letter, Technation claims that you are not an outstanding specialist and you didn't do any innovation. So what we can do with it? We can show them, okay, so you are stating, dear Case Walker, that my skip manager, who holds, I don't know, 22 patents, and who has, I don't know, 40 years of experience working at Google, Amazon, Netflix, and Apple, and he just stated the following, and here the citation about how outstanding you are and how innovative your projects are. So you think you are stating that this person can't be right, this expert can't be right. So then here comes the question: why are you asking us to provide these references if you don't believe them? Yes, it sounds quite rude. I even sounded right now quite rude for me, but you need to do an appeal this way to win, because it's just it proved all the time for us, because we do it all the time in our work, in our everyday work, when we get this rejection letter, and I hope it will work fine for you also. So yes, about rejection letter, probably that's all. And let's switch to the last thing, because when you finally get endorsed, you finally got through all these visa immigration routines, you get into another set of routines, you get into post-relocation routines. Where can I find some, I don't know, some people with the same mindset, some talented guys with whom I can discuss, I don't know, some modern trends in digital tech? How can I find a new place to live with my family? Where can I find a school that could get my kids on board? Or how can I start, I don't know, running a legal entity with its own bank account? Or maybe the most demanded one: how can I get a job in the UK? Because when you move to the UK, you're an exceptional talent, but you need to do something. You need to carry on being exceptional. So you need to find an exceptional job. You need to just circle yourself with the exceptional people and so on. And we are trying to help you with this also. So our clients usually, not usually, always, our clients, when they successfully get endorsed, they are being invited to our own secret, closed global talent club, global talent community, full of like-minded people. And I don't know, probably it's one of the best places to just share, exchange ideas, and you can easily find your future co-founders there. Probably we even have some cases when the co-founders just found themselves found each other in this global talent club meetings. So probably it could work out for you too. And about jobs in tech, we also created our own talent pool full of great specialists who are seeking a job in the UK and outside the country. And many corporations and startups have an access to this database, so they can contact you or your friend who is in this database easily. So yeah, that's all actually for now. Probably I said everything I wanted. And yeah, right now let's switch to the Q&A session. I would be happy to answer all your questions. Let me just open them up and let's start answering them. Oh my God, too many questions. Okay, let's start with the first one. Is this visa only for people who code? No, not at all. This visa is for people who are somehow connected to the global or to the digital tech. So you can be a business applicant, you can be a technical applicant. If you do code, of course, you're a technical applicant. But if you do Figma, so you're a product designer, you can apply also. You will be a business applicant. If you are a product manager, maybe at the same Google or I know Apple, Netflix, or any local startup you have in your country, still you can apply. If you are a business development specialist, you can apply right away. And I can make this list really long, but I hope you just get the idea, so that you can apply if you are in tech. it doesn't matter whether you are in the technical side of tech or in the like more client-oriented, people-oriented side of tech, and so on, business side of tech. How do you prolong global talent visa when already in the UK? So yeah, I tried to explain this previously, so let me just get back to this. Yes, to the screen. So if you're in the UK, and if you're in the UK as a resident, you will just apply on the gov.uk website, and you just put information about your current BRP, your current residential address, and so on, and you just switch your BRP from the old one to the new one. But if you are not a resident in the of the UK, and you are staying in the UK right now, I don't know, maybe in a refugee scheme, or maybe as a tourist, you can also apply for this visa, but you will have to wait for at least 5 weeks, because you will apply from a non-residential route, from the left one. So you will have to wait 5 to 8 weeks. But if you are residents, as I say, it's quite a straightforward process. So you just go into the gov.uk website, I don't know, writing on a search box like global talent visa, and then choosing the right section, and your right section would be apply from the UK. And then you just fill in a small form, short form, and upload your docs, and start the process. So yeah, and the next one. I am a business intelligence engineer from India with 2+ experience. Can I get an opportunity? Yes, probably you can, because business intelligence, BI, is one of the fields that could be considered in terms of this visa. So you need to understand two things. Firstly, do you work in a product-led digital tech company, or you work for some outsourcing company, maybe some agency or outstaffing? Because if you work for the former, if you work for the product-led digital tech company, you have quite decent chances to get this visa. But if you work for the later, I mean for the open source or outstaff or agency, you will have less chances to get this visa, because you will need to find some loopholes to hide that you actually work for an agency. You can ask me why. Because TechNation don't like, they just disguise work experience at agencies, outsourcing companies, and outstaffing companies. They don't like them. They don't like consulting also. So you need to hide it. You need to obscure this fact. For instance, we usually use one approach to do so, to obscure this fact. If you work at the agency, you can almost always you have clients, and many of these clients could be product-led digital tech companies. And if you worked with any of these companies long enough, maybe, I don't know, for a half a year at least, or maybe for a year to the better, you can contact them and ask them to sign off your letter stating that you work for them directly, and you can omit your occupation at the agency and switch it to your occupation at the product-led digital tech company. So that's one of the possible routes. But still, answering your question, yes, in terms of your experience, it's all right. 2 years, it's okay. And you just need to understand whether you have at least 4 or 5 referees who can sign off your letter. If you have something in terms of your public profile, so maybe you wrote some articles, or maybe you attended some conferences as a speaker, or you did something in terms of open source, and so on. But still, yeah, if you have this, if you have referees, if you have some kind of public profile and you worked either in product-led digital tech company, or you can show in your CV as if you worked in a product-led digital tech company through your clients, you can be eligible. Okay, this next one. Does global talent visa allow to bring dependents, for example, wife? Yes, it allows you to do so. So you can bring immediate family members of, it could be your wife or your husband. It could be your partner. You don't have to be married, but you need to have quite a long relationships, at least of 2 years of relationships, or you need to be married. And also you can bring children with you, of course. So to do so, actually, as everything, how you can see, is everything that that goes with the relocation process, it costs money. So if you want to bring your wife and your kids with you, you will need to pay another £624 of each year of their visas, and you need to pay it in advance. So you need to make one huge payment to apply for a visa. So for instance, let's imagine that I would like to bring myself, my wife, and my kid to the UK. So for myself, I will pay, for instance, for 5-year visa, I will pay somewhat £3,700. And for my kid, I will pay, let me see, it's something like approximately £600 in terms of visa fee, and I will pay £624 times 5 for his insurance. So I will pay something the same I paid for myself. So it's plus £3,700 to add, and the same amount of money I would pay for my wife. So, and it goes in total, let me calculate it. Unfortunately, I'm not a technician caseworker, so I'm not a walking calculator, but let me try to count it up. So it would be somewhat, yes, it will be somewhat 10k pounds, 10k pounds to relocate the whole family, to get the visas for the whole family. But yes, answering your questions, yes, you can bring your dependents. What's the approximate timeline for getting the global talent visa? Yes, approximate timeline. In terms of getting an endorsement, after you submitted your application, well, on paper, technician is entitled to assess your case for up to 8 weeks, but actually they usually answer probably in 2 weeks approximately. So you submitted your application, you waited, I don't know, for 2 weeks, around about 2 weeks, and you get your answer. So yes, about the visa processing process, the time of visa processing, it could, as I said, it could fluctuate whether you are a resident of the UK or you're not a UK resident. If you are not a UK resident, you could wait from 5 to 8 weeks as for now, but I hope this time could get we could wait less amount of time. And if you are a UK resident, you can wait up to 2 weeks. After you get your visa done, after you get your documents filled and handed into you. So yes, next one, why can TechNation reject the application? Why can TechNation Kidsworks? Yes, well, why can TechNation reject application? As I said, they can reject it because you haven't met some of the criteria. For instance, the most frequent reasons for rejection is that your referees can't be considered experts in their field, so they can't be good referees for a TechNation global talent visa, or some of your contributions or some of your innovations or any other activities. In these activities, your role isn't depicted clearly. So it's not clear what is the role of the applicant in this commitment. So they cannot evaluate your role. and they cannot understand whether you are eligible or not, whether you are a significant contributor or not. So yeah, probably that's the main answer. But actually, they can have a wide range of reasons. We even got the reason like what can I recall? They even got the reason like yes. We had a wonderful, just brilliant client. He's a CTO of one of the biggest dating companies, e-dating companies in the world. You can guess what it is in the comment section. And he got refused for a reason that his case bundle exceeded 100-page limit. So that's just hell of a fun, and they're just so weird because yes, of course it exceeded because he has 20 patents and has large contract with his company, and has a lot of appreciation letters from his superiors, from the C-level of the company and from the founders of the company. So of course his bundle exceeded this page limit, but it was so fun to read because, well, guys, he's a CTO of one of the biggest companies in the sector. Please give him a visa, because either way he would get this visa in any way. But let's not do it from this kind of formalistic approach. But still, yes, stagnation could be really formalistic, so you need to be prepared for it. Was wondering, are there any examples of obtaining such a visa type after several attempts? Yes. Probably the most remarkable experience I had in this term is that our client, we created 4 attempts to get this visa. And on the 4th one, we got him an endorsement. We just rebundled everything. We just created a new person, actually, a new character out of him. But yes, it worked. It worked successfully, and he got his visa. So yes, I can answer you right away. Yes, you can make as many attempts as you can. If you have additional info, or if you have an understanding how to change your approach to the technician, because we are always changing approaches when we are rebundling a case, because of course we also get rejection letter. We also rebundle our cases if we don't get an endorsement after the rejection. So be sure you can be successful regarding rebundling your case. It's not something that you can get only on the first take, or just forget about it because it's something too high for you. No, it's really achievable, I should say. I just got rejected, which came as a shock to me and my referees, but I can see that I undersold myself. Can you assist me with my appeal? Sure thing. You can probably contact us through the email letter we will send you. As a post meet. So you can just book a consultation there, and we will try to work out some things for you. Yes, and actually, yes, you stated the right point, and I'm glad that you got this idea that you undersold yourself, because really, most of the people who are brightest talents, brightest minds in IT, they are as modest as hell. Sorry for my French, because well, I had a client, I cannot just forget about him, because he's the same age as me, like 23 years old, and he already worked at several household names of the industry. He worked at Google, he worked at Meta, he currently works at one of the biggest hedge funds in Europe. And he just was constantly telling me about it, telling about his achievements, about what he's done in his life, about all this ICM, ICPC finales that he approached and even won some of them. And then he asks me only one question. Okay, Nick, so how do you feel? Is it enough? Am I eligible? And he wasn't kidding even. He wasn't even kidding. He really thought that he could not be eligible. And I was just, in myself inside, I was dying out laughing, because I was like, okay, man, if you are not eligible, then who is actually eligible? So you can be be okay with that. You can kind of undersell yourself. You can kind of undermine some of your achievements. So when you write reference, maybe, I don't know, bring your friend who can, who can evaluate your achievements more clearly, and who can be less modest about your achievements than yourself, and ask this person help you with, I don't know, proofreading your text, and so on. Hi Nikita, I've already live and work in the UK, have a dependent visa. Is the probability of obtaining this global talent visa type reduced? Okay. Is the probability of obtaining this global talent visa reduced? No, it's not reduced. You can switch from a dependent visa to a global talent visa quite easily. So if you win the endorsement, you will just, as I said, go into gov.uk, push the button that says, I would like to apply for a global talent visa from inside the UK, and then you will just choose the type of the visa, which is called dependent. And then you will start the regular form, you will fill it in, and that's all. Next one. Am I eligible for the visa if I worked for the product-led digital company, but as a UX designer? Yes, you're eligible right away. Getting back to my previous answer about quite the similar question in terms of business intelligence, you need to know for sure several things. First, you need to understand whether you have a sufficient number of referees to sign off your letter, and which kind of referees we've already discussed with you. I hope you understood it, and it was quite clear for you. So if you have referees, if you have public profile, or you are ready to push yourself into developing your public profile and enriching it, you could be eligible right away. So yeah. Can you extend this visa? If so, how many times? Probably that is one of the best things about the global talent visa, because you can extend it unlimited number of times, for unlimited times. So you can get a visa, I don't know, for 3 years right away, and then decide to extend it for another 3 years, and then decide to extend it for another 5 years. And even though you're constantly extending it, you won't lose any right of obtaining an ILR, and you don't need to stay in the UK. If you are a digital entrepreneur and you have, I don't know, you have a branch of your company in the US and in the UK, and for instance in India, and you just flying around the globe, solving some problems, presenting your products, negotiating with partners, and so on, you don't have to stay in the UK to prolong this visa. You can be in India, you can stay in the US, and when you see that, just time's out or time's almost out, and you need to extend your visa, you just extend it same way as you applied for it firstly, same way as on this slide. So if you are in the UK currently, you can apply and wait just up to 2 weeks and get your new BRP. Or you can apply from another country and get your visa in several weeks. Yes, so do you have to live in the UK full-time to get ILR? No, you don't have to live in the UK like full-time, so full-time of the year. I could say, answering your question in the same way you asked me, you need to live in the UK part-time. So you need to live in the UK at least 180 days each year. Yes, and you need to earn at least some money from your field of talent. And field of talent is something that you are good at. You typing it in, you put it down in the questionnaire when you apply for endorsement. So for instance, you're an UX designer, and you fill it in like my sphere of expertise is a UX design. Okay, wonderful. And then you need to show that you earn some money in the UK from your field of talent. So you earned some money. I don't know, you worked at some agency, or you worked at Meta as a UX designer, and you got some money. So you show this payslip. You show that you have been living to the UK for this amount of time, as I said, at least half a year each year. And then, yes, you get an ILR. You're eligible for an ILR. And yes, you need to live in the UK for at least half a year each year, 3 years in a row. If you are a global talent visa holder, if you are a global promise visa holder, you need to live in the UK this way for 5 years in a row. Are there any cases when you get endorsed but get rejected the actual visa? No, I haven't seen one yet. You know, that's an unpredictable world, but I haven't ever seen it. So you know, I've been working in this industry for 2 years already, and I've seen a lot of things, but I have never seen that a person could be granted an endorsement but then get refused with the visa. So I can't even imagine this situation happening, because getting an endorsement means that you are 100% eligible for the visa. It's just a formality. You just need to apply so that immigration officers can, you know, look through your immigration case to see if you're not some kind of a terrorist, for God's sake, and so on. Yes, and that's all. Is there a specific number of visas technician issues per year? No. And that's one more thing which is good about this type of visa. There's no some kind of quota. You are just applying for this visa, and if you're eligible, you're getting this visa. So, because, you know, it just doesn't sound reasonable. So the UK as a country, they need as many talents as they can gather inside the country to, you know, push the economy forward, to create innovations, and so on and so on and so on. So it would be quite weird if they have a quota for a visa that is aimed to actually invite and attract talents to the country, isn't it? So no, there's no such thing as quota. Not sure if I'm eligible now. How can I quickly boost my case? It depends whether your case isn't much eligible from the side of public profile or from the side of your contributions. Because if it's from the public profile side, you can just enroll to some. If you are a programmer, you can start contributing to open source, because it also counts as your public profile, because you contribute to publicity. That's how the open source community works. So moreover, you can start speaking at conferences and even at small meetups. They all count, even if it would be a meetup for, I don't know, 30 people. Still, please attend it, please speak at it, please ask somebody to shoot you, like, you know, make a photo of you, and you know, get an appreciation letter from the organizers of the event, congratulating you and appreciating your speech. Well, what's more, in terms of public profile, it could be a wide range of things, like, as I said, conference meetups. You can write several articles. You can start your open source contributions. Yes, that's all probably. And in terms of the contribution, it's not like a walk in the park at all, because your contribution experience should be, you know, it steadily grows as well as your career is going up. So you need maybe, for instance, you can just hop on some, I don't know, some startup in your country, in your city, get to know some founders, and offer them your help, your assistance in terms of some, I don't know, product design problems or some, I don't know, software engineering problems. In turn, they will get a reference letter signed off for you, stating that you immensely contributed to the development of their company, of their product, and you did this, and that, and everything that goes with the contribution to innovation criteria. So you can do it this way, but still you should carry on working on your regular job, because during this day-to-day job, you will likely to get some contributions to contribute somehow to the development of the company. But if you see that you already contributed and it could be eligible, think about getting this visa. Think about maybe start bundling your case and so on. And in the third side, where you can boost your eligibility right away, probably is the relationships with referees, because I can easily see a situation in which a good programmer, a good I don't know, iOS developer might have a rich experience contributing to open source, might have a wonderful set of innovations and patents in his background, but being not really sociable person and being really shy about asking his superiors to about the possibility to sign him a letter. And that's the problem. That's the issue here, because in terms of this visa, as you could have seen, we need to not underestimate, but overestimate everything we've done. So we need these letters from established industry experts be signed off. So if you're thinking about boosting your eligibility for the visa, I would better think about one of these sites, maybe about all of these sites. Do my dependents need to apply after I get endorsement? They don't need to, but they can if you want them, because they can apply only from your only if you get them, if you accept their application, if you confirm it, then they will get their dependence visa, but they cannot, they don't need to apply. There's no such thing as a kind of obligation to apply all your dependents. If your dependents don't want to apply, if you want to have this visa only for yourself, it's up to you. You're the boss here. You're an exceptional talent. All the associated fees are non-refundable, I reckon. Yeah. Does that mean applicants pay the fees all over whenever they reapply? Not really. Only one fee is not refunded. Is not funded fully. It is a Tech Nation application fee, and yes, if you apply for endorsement, you pay this fee, but you get rejected. You can appeal the decision for free, but still, if you want to reapply for the visa, reapply for endorsement, sorry, you need to pay again. But in terms of applying for a visa, the thing that we've been talking about, this screen right now on your display, this money, they are refunded. If you, I don't know, for some reason you decide not to get visa right now, you can call for a refund, and in some months, I cannot predict what number of months, but in some time they will, this money will get refunded on your card you paid from. But except one thing, the first year of your insurance, so the first 624 pounds won't be refunded. So that's the idea. That's the how things works. So are all these payments just for a visa? What if an employer does not renew sponsorship? Will the tech specialist go back home? You see, the visa we've been talking about is the global talent visa, which does not require any sponsorship. So the visa you've been talking about is the visa is the skilled worker visa. And yes, in terms of this visa, if a company sponsor decides not to extend your visa, maybe, I don't know, to fire you, yes, you will you will definitely need to find another job, another employer who agrees to extend your visa, or you will need to go home. Can I apply in a country that is not my primary residence? Yes, right now, according to these exceptional circumstances, let's call this everything that's going on this way. Yes, you can apply in any country, but you need just to put down some small short cover letter explaining why you don't apply for a visa from your residential country, from your home country, for instance. So yes, and you're just stating that there is exceptional circumstances because of this and that, because of this conflict, because of this because I don't feel safety here, I don't feel safety there, so I decide to apply from this country, and I intend to relocate to the UK as soon as I get the visa. And that's all. Do you provide work permits too? Well, we don't provide work permits, but we have a service that helps. We are helping employers obtaining a sponsorship to actually give their employees a tier 2 skilled worker visa, so a work visa, and we help employees with the paperwork to we help employers, sorry, I just mixed up several things in my mind. And we help employers issue and do all paperwork for employees so they can get their skilled worker visas. Why consulting experience makes it less likely to get such visa? I don't know why. I don't know, but the idea is clear. Technician is the guy who sets rules, and we can only comply with them and find, as I said, some loopholes for some tricks and some moves to actually avoid some of the rules. And in terms of consulting experience, one of the ideas how to avoid this kind of strange rule, I should agree with you, is that if you worked on some internal product of McKinsey, for instance, or I don't know, or Ernst & Young, or anywhere else, you can actually state it in your CV, and you can build up the case on this statement, on this contribution, because your contribution to the development of the company itself, to the internal products of the company, could be counted as your contributions to the development of the product-led company. But if you worked explicitly and specifically with clients on the client side, it's quite unlikely you could get this visa. Can a freelance front-end developer get endorsed by technician? Probably the same goes for freelancers. So unfortunately, you would need to go this, you will need to go the sidewalks and create an image that you have been working not for yourself as a freelancer, but for your clients as a full-time or part-time front-end developer. So you need to have quite a decent relationships with the founders of the companies, or some superiors of the companies you worked for, and get them agreed that they sign off a letter in which they state that you worked for them at their company as a part-time or full-time employee. Only in this way you will be eligible for the visa. Unfortunately, that's these strange and yet strict rules we have. Can you please tell something about advertising, marketing, especially creative director application? Is it hard because it will be quite hard to compete with tech applicants? Yes. I mean, creative director, especially if you work at, more like art industry. I'm not talking about advertising, but I talk about something like, for instance, cinema industry, or I don't know, something like creative director of some kind of a gallery, art gallery. You will need to seek a visa, a global talent visa in art, probably not in tech. You're right here. I am a tech lead, having 14 years of experience and currently working as a freelance for a USA-based company. Can I eligible for a visa? Let me see. Tech lead having 14 years. Okay. So, firstly, you are tech lead. Congratulating. That's wonderful, because it shows that you have quite a decent experience. You just had a long way to this position, and it goes only for some features of your case. So what are your contributions? What did you do throughout within these 14 years of experience? Have you done anything outstandingly wonderful that we can show, or you can show that it could be eligible for the visa? It could meet some kind of a criterion, for instance, criterion of contribution or criterion of innovation, and so on. So yes, so you can be eligible for a visa, but as I said, it relates to wide range of small minute details, and you need to just think about them, list all of them, and then decide whether you can feed them into some of the criteria or not. I am in financial sector for last 20 years, but have worked for 5 years in IT and development for the same employer during their digital transformation process. During that tenure, I have also worked on various projects and has significant contribution. Whether am I eligible for a global talent visa? This company is a multinational company and have presence in 19 countries. Okay, so regarding that, well, you have quite a decent experience, and it's wonderful that you started stating that you had significant contributions, because you need to do it, just spell it out to actually then put it down in your references and put it down in your CV and personal statement. But still, I would probably recommend you to I would probably recommend you to think about whether your company is a product-led company, whether your company could be considered fintech company, because if it's a fintech, you're eligible for this visa. But if it's some kind of a company that makes just accounting and with no help of digital tech, unfortunately, you might not be eligible for a visa. Yes. So I would recommend you to think about the type of your company, and if your company is a product-led, or it could be called a fintech company, yes, you could be eligible for a visa. Might have been. So is the public event speaking important, getting global talent? Any alternative to it? Okay, I see. Yes, of course, there is a wide range of alternatives. As I said, firstly, you can contribute to open source. You can write several articles on tech matters. You can What else? You can, I don't know, maybe start, I don't know, giving lectures also, like a public speaking process. So probably, yes, probably you can do open source, you can do articles, and you actually can do podcasts. So if you have, I don't know, some friend who has a famous or quite prominent podcast, you can just enter, join this podcast and start speaking with people and enriching, therefore enriching your public profile, because every time you appear in public and say something in public and broadcasting your knowledge to the public, you actually just increase your chances for a visa, because it's one more bullet point in your future CV. Okay, and the last one is not in English, but I will try to just translate it for the whole audience. So if nothing to show except work experience 3+ years, but the 3+ years of experience, is there any possibility to join a company in the UK as a remote worker? Yes, it is possible. It is quite possible, but I don't see how it's related to the visa, because if you want to be a remote worker, you don't need to have a visa. Actually, you need to just be in a country, in any country, and just start working for this employer. So I can't see the relation between these two matters. And can a website developer be eligible? Yes, he can be eligible, or she can be eligible. So yes, this kind of specialist also, but you need to show something more sophisticated than just developing website. You need to show that you, I don't know, for instance, created some new approach, new website engine for some company, and it somehow increased its revenue or increased its conversion, or made the company's website one of the fastest, one of the quickest in the industry, and therefore increased its conversion rate. So as I said, always think about metrics, and always think about some more sophisticated, detailed description of your contribution, because you can just tell it yourself, and you will see if it works fine for the visa or not. Because if you spell out just idea that, I don't know, I created a website for, I don't know, for a clothing company and it worked fine, you see it just doesn't sound significant, isn't it? So to actually meet the criteria, you need to sound significant. So if you work as a website developer, try to think about the most impactful projects you had. Yeah, and one more question, not in English. So let me try to translate it for the whole audience. So if I have only experience, if I have only experience working in tech, and at the moment when I'm applying for a visa for endorsement, I already work at the UK company, would it help to get a visa? Well, there's no written rule for it, but still, some of the technician case workers in some informal conversations just told us that, yes, if you work at the UK company, you will more likely get endorsed than if you're the person who doesn't work at the UK company. But it's not something like a rule, or it's not something that that would make your case prioritized. But still, yes, it's a good thing to have. It's a good thing to have. And well, I highly recommend you, if you have only 3+ years of experience and you work at the UK company and that's all, please think about your public profile, because even if you would like to apply for a promise visa, you will still need to get a public profile. At least some public profiles, some public appearances, at least some open source contributions, because without all of it, you'll likely get refused. So let's see if I have any more questions. Yeah, or not. Please tell me if I have any more questions. Okay, got it. So probably that's it. Thank you so much, guys. It was really nice talking to myself for these, I don't know, 2.5 hours. And I'm just, I hope this webinar was really useful for you, and I hope you found some, some ideas, some just, some ideas to think about, and some routes that you can pursue to get your dreams to make your dreams come true. Thank you again so much, and have a nice evening. Enjoy your Friday evening, and see you soon. Bye-bye.